Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about anxiety, so let's just jump right in. Number 1, what is anxiety? Anxiety is our body's natural response to dealing with danger. You might have heard of fight or flight, and fight or flight is where our body will either fight the danger head on or we want to flight and just run away from the danger. Number 2, types of anxiety. There are different types of anxiety, some you might have already heard of and some you haven't. So let's jump right in. But before we do, please note that if you suspect that you have any of these disorders, please make sure to speak to a doctor before self-diagnosing, as self-diagnosing is very dangerous. So number 1, generalised anxiety. Generalised anxiety is one of the most common anxiety disorders. You may feel on edge, feelings of out of control, feeling of dread and fear over certain activities and situations. Number 2, panic disorder. Panic disorder is where you get panic attacks with no specific trigger. Panic attacks can come on very suddenly and be quite intense and even frightening. You may also feel chest pains, tummy pains, feeling hot and sweaty, and they're just some of the other few symptoms of panic disorder. Number 3, social anxiety disorder. Social anxiety can sometimes be known as a social phobia, where you're just worried about social situations. But if you have social anxiety is more of a sense of fear and dread over social or performance situations, like speaking in public or in groups, meeting new people, dating, or even eating or drinking in public. You may also fear doing something embarrassing or doing something wrong. Social anxiety is a big one for me, and it's something that I have struggled with for quite a while. I struggled to talk in big groups of people. I thought they would not hear me or would ignore me, or that I'd just be ignored. I really struggled to eat in public, but I also think that it was linked to anorexia with not wanting to eat as well. But it was also the thought of, oh, this person is going to be judging what I'm eating, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that. So, you know, always thinking the worst is anxiety helping us do that. I also struggled with having to count my change consistently, because I was so terrified of embarrassing myself by the time I got there. So I would count my change over and over again. Even if I'd already counted it 500 times before and the change was the right amount, I'd always panic in case it wasn't right, because I just had to make sure that I didn't embarrass myself. I also found it really difficult to order food for myself. I'd always have to have someone there to speak for me, because it was just something that I found really difficult, because I didn't want to make a mistake and then embarrass myself even more. Number 4, phobias. Phobias are an overwhelming sense of fear of things like objects, feelings, places, situations, or animals. Phobias are stronger than fears, and it occurs when someone has a heightened sense of danger over the situation or an object. People with phobias will even rearrange their life to avoid the phobia that's causing them anxiety. Number 5, post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD. PTSD is when your anxiety is caused by a life-threatening or traumatic experience, such as a crash, a fire, being a part of the war, or even sexual assault are just some of the few things that cause PTSD. Some of the symptoms of PTSD are having nightmares, flashbacks, difficulty sleeping, feeling on edge, avoiding situations that remind you of the incident, and are just some of the few symptoms. I really struggled to deal with PTSD. I was in a car accident 2 years ago, which feels a lot longer. I was asleep in the car, and because I was asleep in the car, it really affected me sleeping. I struggled to fall asleep, and when I was asleep I would just have nightmares about the accident happening, and then I would wake up as if I did in the accident, panicking and feeling unsure of where I was and if it was just happening over and over again. But I'm just really glad that it's something that is under control, but it can be very, very scary when you experience it. Number 3, ways to cope with anxiety. question your thought process. Is this going to happen? Am I in danger? I usually do this when my anxiety has like show signs of coming back, and I kind of just have a discussion with myself like, is this really going to happen? Are we in real danger? You know, like, is there a high possibility of this and this happening? Most of the time the answer is absolutely not to all of the above, but I think once you kind of see it like that, where you talk it through with yourself, like, you know, there's really a high chance, low chance of this happening, you know, like you're not going to die, and to kind of like ease the worry, it can actually make your thoughts kind of just like relax a bit and you can move on. Another one that you've all probably heard of, but I definitely think it's one that people should definitely give a try, and you know, if it doesn't work for you, then you know that's okay. It's focused and deep breathing. Deep breathing is really good for slowing down your breath and, you know, like lowering your heart rate when you're like all anxious. It can also be good for relaxing your muscles and just relieving any tensions that you have. So if you breathe in for 4 and out for 4 for just 5 minutes, it can really make a difference. Another one that I haven't tried myself yet is aromatherapy. Apparently it can be really good for soothing anxiety, and some of the scents that are good are lavender, which is my favourite scent, so I definitely need to give that a try, chamomile and sandalwood. But it can be in an oil form, you can use incense and even just a candle, but it sounds really good and I really hope to try. Another one is going for a walk or doing 15 minutes of yoga. It can be good to take yourself away from a situation that's causing you to feel more anxious, and it's also good for you to focus on your body rather than just your mind, and I think that is really important to kind of find the balance between the both, so they're both getting the same loving care as each other. And finally, writing out your thoughts can also help. Once you kind of put that thought onto paper, it can be less daunting and less scary. But something I found that helps for me is that once you've written it out, just like scrumpling it up or ripping it, just so that you have like that physical action of it being gone and it's fully gone. And lastly, longer term strategies for coping with anxiety. Identifying and figuring out what causes your triggers. Some of these might be more simple, like, or more noticeable, like drinking caffeine or drinking alcohol, but some triggers might not be as easy to identify and might just need a little bit extra work figuring out what these triggers are. CBT. CBT is also known as cognitive behavioural therapy. CBT did wonders for me and my anxieties, and is something I highly recommend for you to try. CBT works to help you learn different ways of thinking and approaching anxiety-causing situations. A therapist can also help you change negative thoughts or behaviours before they spiral. And lastly, doing routine or daily meditation, although it takes practice to do successfully, doing this daily can help you train your brain to dismiss anxious thoughts when they arise. Anxiety is one of the most common mental health disorders there is. I want you to know that it is possible to get through, and to know that you might feel trapped in this constant fear, but you can get through it, and you know it's okay not to be okay, and you're not alone. I believe you can do it. I hope you can believe in yourself too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!